The Varii station orbited a red giant star. Its metal hull was cracked and scorched. Smoke curled from torn panels. Inside, the corridors were full of sparks and the smell of burning circuits. Alarms rang in short, sharp bursts. Lights flickered. The station's crew moved quickly, trying to save what they could. Commander Sorrow, a tall Varii with pale green skin and long arms, stood on the main bridge. His eyes scanned the monitors, reading damage reports and life support failures. The situation was dire. Half the crew had injuries, and critical systems were failing. The reactor was unstable. A small misstep now could end everything. "We have no choice," Sorrow said to his officers. "We must send a distress call. It may be our only hope." One officer, a young Varii named Lyra, shook her head. Who would answer? "We are far from any allied stations. Even if they hear us, it will take days for help to arrive." "Days we do not have," Sorrow replied. His voice was steady, but his eyes betrayed his worry. He keyed the console and began the wideband broadcast. The message was simple: a call for aid, sent to every known Alliance channel. Far away, the signal traveled through space, faint but clear. The Varii did not know who would hear it. They feared help might never come. On the station, crew members whispered about Deathworlders. "They are the toughest species in the galaxy." One said, "No one survives what they face." Another replied, "I hope they do not come. We need help, not killers." The Varii had heard stories about Earth. Humans were called Deathworlders, creatures from a world where everything fought to survive. The rumors said humans could live through fire, cold, acid, and radiation. They could adapt to almost any danger. Most Varii feared humans. They thought humans might finish off a dying station just for sport. Far away on the dark side of Earth's moon, a human listening post picked up the signal. The post was quiet and gray, built into the rocks, with antennas reaching up into space. Inside, humans monitored hundreds of channels for signals from across the galaxy. Alex Carter, the mission commander, was the first to notice the Varii call. He leaned forward in his chair, frowning. "This is unusual," he said. "The signal is weak, but it's wide-band. It's a proper distress call. And it's coming from an unknown species. We might be the first to hear it." Nina Ward, the communications officer, looked at the screens. "It's definitely Varii. I can recognize the frequency patterns. They are sending an emergency message. Something is very wrong." Logan Price, the security specialist, crossed his arms. "Humans don't usually interfere in alien disputes, especially not with species considered fragile. We could be walking into a trap." "There," Alex shook his head. "If we ignore it, we lose the chance to help. If we go, we show the galaxy that humans can protect others, not just fight." Kelly Reed, the young engineer, tapped on her console. "The Aurora is ready. Shields, engines, life support all checked. If we decide to go, we can leave immediately." The Council of Earth leaders debated. Some argued it was too dangerous. The Varii station might be in pirate territory. Some feared that humans answering could make the galaxy afraid, seeing them as reckless and violent. Alex stood firm. "Humans are built for danger. We survive in harsh worlds. If we want to be trusted, we must answer when others are in danger." Finally, the council agreed. A small ship, the Aurora, would go. It was not a warship, but it had strong armor and flexible systems. The crew would be humans only, trained to survive in extreme conditions. As preparations began, the Aurora crew discussed what they had heard about Deathworlders. Aliens often whispered that humans were nearly impossible to kill. They were reckless and strong, but the crew wanted to show a different side. They wanted to help, not scare. Alex looked at his team. "We don't go for glory," he said. We go to save lives. If we succeed, we will show that humans can protect, not just fight. Nina nodded. We need to be careful, but fast. The Varii may not last much longer. Logan tightened his gloves. I'm ready for anything. Let's make sure these aliens see humans for what we really are. Kelly smiled. Then let's make this ship fly. With that, the Aurora lifted off the moon's surface. Its engines glowed, pushing it into space. The small ship moved swiftly through the solar system, leaving Earth behind. It jumped into faster-than-light travel, heading toward the Varii station. On the station, Saro and his crew waited. They did not know who would answer their call. They hoped for gentle allies, but feared Deathworlders. They did not expect humans. Hours passed. Systems failed one by one. Sparks flew from broken consoles. Alarms screamed, echoing through tilted corridors. Lyra moved among the crew, helping the injured, trying to calm those in panic. We must hold on, she said softly. Help is coming. Saro watched her. He wanted to believe, but fear weighed heavily. He whispered a prayer to the old Varii gods, hoping someone would hear them in time. In the darkness of space, the Aurora drew closer. Humans moved with practiced calm. The crew checked every system. Alex reviewed the mission. First, assess the station. Second, rescue the injured. Third, stabilize the reactor. Fourth, evacuate. Nina translated alien patterns, reading sensors and data. Logan prepared boarding equipment, checking mag boots and armor. Kelly ran simulations of structural failure, preparing drones to repair sections on the fly. The Aurora approached the red giant, its hull reflecting the star's red glow. The Varii station was barely visible, smoke curling from broken panels. Alex stared at it. This is it, he said. We go in fast, we go in smart, and we go in together. As the Aurora drifted closer, Lyra and the Varii crew stared into space, eyes wide. A strange, large ship approached. They did not recognize it at first. Its shape was solid, human-built, with engines glowing bright. Saro whispered, "It cannot be." The Aurora docked with careful precision, dodging debris and radiation bursts. Humans began to board. Their armor and tools looked strong and strange. They moved quickly, without panic, into the chaos. Lyra watched a human lift a fallen beam with ease. She whispered, "They are not killing us. They are helping." Saro's eyes widened. He had heard stories of humans, but seeing them in person was different. They were large, strong, and fearless. Yet, they moved to save, not destroy. Alex and his team spread through the station. They checked injured Varii, stabilized loose panels, and guided the crew away from failing sections. Every move was careful but fast. Every decision measured, yet bold. Saro followed them, silently. He did not know if these humans would survive, but he saw that they were determined. Determination that only a Deathworlder could have. As the Aurora crew continued their work, the Varii began to whisper to each other. Maybe, just maybe, humans could be different. Maybe they could be allies, not monsters. The station was still dying, but hope had arrived. It came in the form of humans, creatures of harsh worlds, built for survival, ready to face fire, smoke, and danger to save others. Saro felt a spark of hope. He still feared for their lives, but he began to believe that help could arrive, not as gentle allies, not as cautious friends, but as Deathworlders who would face any danger to answer a call for aid. And so, in the shadow of the red giant, amid sparks and smoke, the Aurora crew moved forward. Step by step, they advanced into the chaos. They were humans. They were Deathworlders. And they were here to help. The Aurora floated beside the Varii station. its engines humming softly. Smoke rose from broken panels, and the scent of burning circuits drifted into the docking bays. Alex Carter, the mission commander, adjusted his gloves and looked at the boarding hatch. We go in carefully. Our goal is to stabilize the station and rescue as many as possible. Logan Price, the security specialist, checked his armor one more time. I want to see who else is still alive and make sure nothing follows us in. This place is a mess. Kelly Reed brought up the station's schematics on her tablet. Some sections have collapsed completely. The corridors are twisted. We'll have to go through maintenance shafts in some areas. Nina Ward translated the Very's emergency messages from the station's broadcast. They are panicked. Some of the injured are trapped. They're expecting the worst. The boarding hatch opened. Humans stepped onto the station carefully. The corridors were narrow and warped, smoke curling around flickering lights. Sparks rained from torn ceilings, and the heat from broken panels made the air stifling. The first Verii they met were cowering near a hallway junction. They had wide eyes and small, trembling hands. One of them, Lyra, ran forward, crying out, "Please, help us, the reactor is failing." Alex raised a hand. "We are here to help. Stay calm. Follow our lead, and you will be safe." Logan led a small group down a corridor where the floor had cracked. He stepped lightly on the uneven metal. A panel shifted under his weight, threatening to fall. With quick reflexes, he caught it and pushed it aside. The Verii behind him gasped. They had never seen anyone move like that. Kelly followed, sending small drones into damaged rooms. The drones used welding tools to hold broken structures in place, creating safe paths. She moved fast, checking the reactor chamber's walls for weak spots. This section could collapse at any moment. We need to work quickly. Nina stayed near the communication hub, coordinating between Alex and the Aurora. I can see the injuries. Some crew are trapped in zero-gravity areas. We need a plan to get them safely. The humans split into small teams. Alex and Logan went to the reactor chamber. Kelly and a Verii group worked on repairing corridors and stabilizing walls. Nina stayed in contact with both groups, translating Verii instructions and warning them of hazards. In the reactor chamber, smoke choked the air. Sparks flew from exposed conduits. The Verii engineer, Saro's assistant, trembled as he tried to hold a control panel in place. "It is too late," he whispered. "We cannot save it." Alex crouched beside him. "We might be able to. I need you to follow my instructions exactly. Trust me." With Logan's help, Alex climbed into the narrow control area. He lifted heavy cables and rewired broken circuits. The heat burned his gloves, but he ignored it. Logan held doors open, catching falling debris. The Verii watched in silence. Hours passed as the humans worked. Sweat ran down their faces, but they never stopped. They crawled through collapsed corridors, lifted beams, and carried injured Verii to safe zones. Each time a human risked their life to save a Verii, whispers ran through the survivors. "They are not like we thought," Lyra said. "They do not fight for fun, they fight to save." One of the injured Verii, a young officer named Mieko, was pinned under a twisted metal plate. Logan moved quickly, lifting the plate with his strength. Mieko screamed, but Alex reassured him. "You are safe now. We have you." The Aurora's drones moved through corridors ahead of the teams. They scanned for radiation, structural weaknesses, and fire. Small welding arms patched holes in walls. Verii crew followed cautiously, learning how to work with the humans' tools. Kelly checked the emergency generator. It had been sabotaged. She frowned. This was not random. Someone tried to destroy the station completely. She warned Alex over the comms. "We need to be extra careful. We might not be alone in this mess." Nina translated more of the Verii messages. The crew was scared, but hope was returning. "They see that you are helping. They are beginning to trust you, she told Alex. The station shuddered. A burst of energy from the damaged reactor shook the floor. Varii screamed and clung to walls. Alex stood steady. "Hold on!" he shouted. He used his shoulder to brace a falling bulkhead and guided the Varii out of the danger zone. Logan followed, carrying 2 injured officers. Lyra watched in amazement. She had heard stories of Deathworlders humans before. They were supposed to be monsters. Now, she saw them saving lives, moving through fire and sparks without fear. "They are not monsters," she whispered. "They are different, stronger, braver." As the humans worked, they began to learn the layout of the station. Twisted corridors and broken floors became paths of survival. The Varii helped, carrying light equipment and guiding humans through the safest routes. The combined team moved with purpose. Kelly patched a corridor leading to the medical bay. She used drones to hold a collapsed ceiling. "We can get the injured through here now," she said. The Varii cheered quietly. It was the first real sign of hope since the disaster began. Alex led a team into the main reactor room. Sparks fell around them. The air was thick with heat and smoke. A control panel flickered. "We need to stabilize the core," Alex said. He began rerouting power from damaged sections, using human techniques that the Varii had never seen. Logan held doors open against pressure and smoke. Together, they worked to prevent a meltdown. Nina coordinated with the Aurora. "We can provide external support. Drones can move through maintenance shafts and hold broken sections while you work inside." Hours passed. The humans did not rest. They moved from corridor to corridor, lifting debris, rescuing trapped Varii, and reinforcing weak floors. Every injury they treated, every beam they lifted, showed the crew that humans were different from what they had feared. In one corridor, a fire broke out. Smoke filled the room, and sparks flew down from the ceiling. Alex grabbed a fire extinguisher, moving quickly toward the flames. Logan followed, helping carry a wounded Varii to safety. The fire was out within minutes. The Varii whispered among themselves. Humans moved through chaos as if it were normal. Kelly worked on the damaged structural supports. She instructed a group of Varii to attach emergency braces. "Hold it tight," she said. "Don't let go until I tell you." The braces held, and the corridor was safe. The Varii watched her hands and eyes, seeing confidence that they had never seen before. As night fell in space, the station still smoked. But stability was improving. Humans carried the last injured to safe zones. Lyra followed Alex and Logan into a secure corridor. She looked at them closely. "Why do you risk yourself for us?" she asked. Alex smiled faintly. "On Earth, we survive by helping each other. That is how we are built. We fight to protect, not to destroy." Logan nodded. "Sometimes, the hardest part is stepping into danger. We do it because no one else will. Today, that is why we are here." Lyra looked at the other Varii. She spoke softly. "These humans, they are Deathworlders, but they are not like we thought. They are brave. They care. Maybe we can trust them." Sorrow watched from the bridge. He had seen much destruction and death in his life, but he had never seen a species like this. Humans moved through fire, smoke, and collapsing corridors with calm focus. They rescued the injured without hesitation. Sorrow realized that humans were not monsters, not recklessly violent. They were strong, brave, and determined to save lives. The Aurora remained at the docking bay, providing support. Drones flew ahead of the humans, carrying supplies, patches, and tools. The humans communicated efficiently with the Varii, teaching them how to stabilize the station. As the hours passed, hope returned. The station was damaged, but lives were being saved. The Varii began to follow the humans' lead. They learned to move carefully, to avoid hazards, and to help the wounded. Trust grew slowly, but it grew. Lyra moved beside Alex. "We thought Deathworlders would harm us," she said. "But you are saving us." Alex nodded. "Sometimes we are feared for what we can do. Today, we show what we choose to do. We choose to help." End quote. The station shuddered again. But the humans were ready. Logan braced the doors, and Kelly checked structural supports. Smoke cleared enough to see the damaged hallways. The Aurora's external drones reinforced walls and ceilings. Together, humans and Varii worked to keep the station from collapsing. By the end of the day, most of the injured were safe. Corridors were patched enough for stable passage. The reactor was stabilizing, though still fragile. The Varii crew whispered among themselves. Humans had come into their world, into their chaos, and faced danger without fear. Lyra stood with sorrow on a balcony overlooking the station's main hub. "We called for help," she said. "We never expected Deathworlders to answer. And yet, here they are, saving us all." Sorrow nodded slowly. "Today, humans are not a rumor. They are real. And they are remarkable." Alex and his team moved through the station one last time that evening, checking injured and securing weak corridors. They had not rested, but the Varii were alive. The Aurora's engines hummed quietly at the docking bay. Humans had arrived in time. They had faced fire, smoke, and danger to save others. Hope returned to the Varii station. It was fragile, but it existed. The humans had shown courage, determination, and skill that no other species had displayed. Sorrow began to believe that perhaps, in this vast and dangerous galaxy, humans might be allies worth trusting. The first day of rescue had ended, but the danger was not over. The station was still damaged, and the humans had more to do. Yet for the first time since the distress call, the Varii felt a sense of safety. The Aurora crew had arrived. The Deathworlders had answered. After a long day of rescue, the Aurora crew gathered in a safe section of the station. The Varii were exhausted, but they were alive. Alex Carter leaned against a damaged console, rubbing his forehead. "We did well today. But we are not done. Something is wrong here. Too much of this damage looks deliberate." Kelly Reed nodded. She had been checking structural failures, and her data showed unusual patterns. This was not random. Some panels were cut before the fire started. Wires were tampered with. Someone wanted this station destroyed. Nina Ward analyzed logs from the control systems. "I found strange code in the communications and life support systems. It's not from pirates or Varii. It's too advanced. Someone wanted to lure help here." Logan Price frowned. "So this is a trap? We came here thinking we were helping, and someone planned for us to arrive at the wrong time?" Alex shook his head. "It doesn't matter. We are here now. We save the station and the crew. We adapt and survive. That is what humans do." Sorrow, the Varii commander, listened quietly. He had already started to trust the humans after seeing them move through fire and smoke to save his crew. Now he understood why. Humans face danger naturally, without hesitation. "We will follow your guidance," he said slowly. "Show us what we must do next." Kelly pointed to the damaged reactor. "The sabotage includes the power systems. If it triggers again, the core will explode. We need to stabilize it permanently, and fast." Alex divided the teams. He and Logan would work on securing the reactor core. Kelly would stabilize structural weaknesses and patch power conduits. Nina would monitor communications and translations, keeping the Varii informed and calm. As they moved through the corridors, they noticed something strange. Debris had been moved deliberately, blocking some paths but leaving others open. Alex crouched beside a twisted floor plate. "This is too neat to be an accident. Whoever did this knows the station well." Lyra followed them, watching the humans work. Who would do this? Pirates? Or someone else? She asked. Alex looked at her. We are going to find out. But right now, we need to keep you and your people safe. They reached the reactor room. Smoke still curled from damaged panels, and sparks flew from broken circuits. Logan scanned the room with his portable sensor. I detect another vessel nearby, he said quietly. It is hiding, but it is watching us. Kelly frowned. Not pirates. Pirates do not move like this. They stay far away from active reactors. This is a calculated presence. Nina tapped her console. The signals are scrambled, but I can identify patterns. This is a species we have only heard rumors about. The Varkesh. They study dangerous worlds and observe conflicts. They want to learn, not just destroy. Alex's eyes narrowed. They didn't expect humans. They probably expected a weak species to arrive. We are stronger than they think. Sorrow's antennas twitched nervously. They are called Varkesh? Stories say they are cold and precise. No one survives them in combat. Alex shook his head. Stories exaggerate fear. We adapt. We survive. And we protect. Logan adjusted his gloves. We need to prepare for them. They might try to board the station. Kelly worked quickly to stabilize the reactor. She rerouted emergency power and used drones to hold damaged walls and ceilings. Sparks fell around her. But she did not stop. This will hold for now, she said, but we cannot relax. We need to expect an attack. Alex organized teams through the corridors. Varii volunteers followed, guided by humans. Lyra carried messages and supplies. The station was damaged, but humans used every tool and skill they had to make it safe. Hours passed. The Varkesh remained hidden, watching. Humans moved with a calm that confounded them. They did not panic, even when the reactor shuddered or panels fell. They carried injured Varii through smoke and sparks. Every move was precise, yet bold. Nina monitored communications. They are observing our patterns. They expect fear. We do not show it. That confuses them. Alex nodded. We use their expectations against them. We are not here to fight yet. We are here to survive and protect. That is enough to change the situation. Kelly checked a collapsed corridor near the medbay. Small drones held the ceiling while she patched structural damage. Varii crew worked beside her, following instructions. You are learning quickly, she said. This is how humans move in danger. You adapt, you survive. Lyra watched carefully. I have never seen a species act like this. Humans are strong, but also careful. They think while moving through fire. Logan led a patrol toward the outer sections. He checked each junction for traps. A small explosion had been set to test the response. He noted it. They want to see us react. We will react with control, not fear. Alex joined him. We protect the station, but we also learn their patterns. If they come, we are ready. Nina translated new messages from the Varii. They were afraid, but they began to trust the humans. They see that you do not panic, she said. They are learning to follow you. The Varkesh, hidden near the edge of the system, analyzed every move. Humans did not behave as expected. They were not fragile, like other species. They did not flee from danger. They moved quickly, saved the injured, and stabilized the station. Lyra whispered to Sorrow. They are not like the stories. They do not enjoy danger. They face it to protect. This is extraordinary. Alex and Logan checked a corridor leading to the reactor chamber. They reinforced walls and ceilings, set temporary supports, and guided Varii volunteers along safe paths. Every injury treated, every beam lifted, showed the crew the strength and courage of humans. Kelly monitored the reactor from her station. We are stable for now. But if the Varkesh attack, we need a plan to protect the core. They want to capture data and study us. Alex nodded. Then we make it impossible. We use the station, the environment, and our skills. We turn their study into failure. Lyra watched humans moving through corridors, lifting debris, carrying the injured. She realized something important. Humans were not just survivors, they were protectors. In every action, they risked themselves to save others. The Varkesh had expected fear and weakness, but humans showed determination and bravery. Sorrow stood on the bridge, observing the progress. He had seen death and danger before, but nothing like this. Humans did not panic. They did not retreat. They faced chaos calmly, worked with precision, and saved lives. I begin to understand, he said quietly. These are not monsters. These are beings built to survive and protect. We may owe them our lives. Hours passed. Humans in Varii continued working. The Varkesh did not attack, waiting for the right moment. But the Aurora crew was ready. They knew the danger, and they were prepared. Alex gathered his team in a secure room. The Varkesh may board soon. They want to study us and your species. We will not let them. We will use every advantage we have. This station is fragile, but we are stronger. Together, we protect it. Logan nodded. We set traps, use corridors, and move with speed. We protect the crew. We survive. That is all that matters. Kelly added. Drones and emergency supports will hold the station. We need to be ready for sudden attacks. This is our advantage. The Varkesh do not expect us to move fast and think fast at the same time. Nina translated the message to Sorrow. They are preparing. Do not panic. Humans face danger and protect life. We will follow their lead. Lyra watched the humans. I have never seen anyone like them. They do not fear chaos. They face it. They save us. They are incredible, Sorrow nodded slowly. Then we trust them. We have no choice but to follow. They are stronger than any fear we have known. The Aurora's presence remained at the docking bay, ready to provide support. Drones carried supplies, reinforced walls, and monitored the outer corridors. Humans prepared for what could come. As the station settled into temporary stability, the Varii crew began to recover. Whispers ran through the corridors. Humans were different from what they had feared. They were not reckless monsters. They were brave protectors, willing to face fire, smoke, and collapsing corridors to save others. Alex walked through a corridor with Logan and Kelly. We have stabilized the station for now. But the Varkesh are observing. They will test us. We must stay ready and keep protecting the crew. Kelly nodded. They will not expect humans to move calmly through danger, save the injured, and use the station against them. That is our advantage. Nina translated Varii messages. Hope was returning. The crew began to trust the humans. The Aurora's drones moved steadily, holding the station together. Lyra stood beside Alex. We called for help, and humans answered. We expected monsters, but we found protectors. Today, they saved many lives. Tomorrow, we will see what else they can do. Alex nodded. We survive today. We protect the Varii. Tomorrow, we face whatever comes. We are humans. We adapt. We survive. And we protect. The station was not safe yet. The threat of the Varkesh lingered. But humans had shown their courage, determination, and skill. They had faced fire, smoke, and chaos without fear. They had earned the trust of the Varii. Hope returned to the Varii station. Humans were here. They were Deathworlders, but they were protectors. The Varkesh would soon learn that humans were not to be underestimated. And so, amid sparks, smoke, and collapsing corridors, humans continued their work. They prepared for the unknown, stabilized the station, and saved lives. The Aurora crew had arrived. The Varii began to believe that help could come from even the most feared species.